Mr. Chairman.
I call the Honourable Member, the Honourable Te Iraroa Flavel.
Kia ora, Mr. Chair. Kia ora tātou katoa. Tēnā koe. Kia ora tātou katoa. Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to take a brief call to make sure on the record that we speak to the amendment in my name and to put the Māori Party case to the discussion from that amendment. I do appreciate the comments from Mr. Colin King with respect to the discussion at the Select Committee. Unfortunately, we weren't able to be there, but he would appreciate as much as probably most of us in the House that we've been lobbied pretty hard from left, right and centre as a Māori Party, and so it's incumbent on us to put our view and indeed put up amendments that we believe are acting in the interest of those people who have lobbied us as best we can. And of course we're talking about 1,700 dairy industry workers, farm owners, farmers and farm hands who, as others have said, are Māori who are in this industry, so it's important that we put their case. In the bigger picture, the Māori Party is focused on empowering communities, whānau and hapu to develop responses to issues like this, which is great, that impact on them. It's important that they have a say. We want to invest in business in Māori communities that incentivise Māori privately and collectively owned business growth. We want to ensure that there are opportunities for partnerships, joint ventures and other economic development collaborations with Māori people and tangata whenua, and we also want to be committed to establish effective strategies for engaging Māori communities and advancing Māori representation. Mr. Chair, these are pretty huge goals. They're a tough ask, but they do lead us to ask one question to the government, and that is this. Why is it that the government is insisting on imposing a competition policy test on the dairy industry that is different to, inconsistent with, and tougher than the standard that applies to every other industry in New Zealand? That's the question. From our part, we want to ensure that those 1,700 dairy industry workers, farm owners, farmers and farm hands who are Māori, those Māori industries, such as Miraka, stand to benefit from the same opportunities as every other industry. Mr. Speaker, I said earlier that we've been lobbied, and we've also gone the opposite way and canvassed widely, including various Māori trusts and incorporations. Many of these trusts supply Fonterra directly, and some do not. We've also spoken to independent milk processors who act in competition to Fonterra. And generally, we accept that the interests of Māori farmers lie with the fortunes of Fonterra, since most of their farms are basically with them. And it's for that reason that we intend to support, with amendment, the Dairy Industry Restructuring Amendment Bill. But I did want to point out that we have been concerned with the lack of the definition around the term contestability. We've broached it with a number of the other parties, and I suppose the proof will be in the pudding shortly when it comes to the vote. So we wish to ensure that whilst supporting Fonterra to be as successful as they possibly can, that we're clear that we do not want to stifle the whole notion of potential competition in Aotearoa. We've therefore suggested 2 amendments that provide some clarity around competition in this particular sector. We're particularly proud of the efforts of Miraka and their achievements to date, as we are proud of Fonterra as it's gone about its work. And whilst our farms still supply to Fonterra, we need to ensure that they are able to become independent milk processors also, if that is indeed their journey. So these amendments will assist, we believe, in that journey. The SOP, or the amendment in my name, comprises of 2 amendments. If I could mention them briefly. Firstly, an amendment to Section 5, which is a definition of the term contestability, which is a critical term in both Section 4F, in other words, the purpose of the bill, and Section 158, the purpose of Subpart 5A. The amendments read as follows. Contestability in relation to the New Zealand market for raw milk means a market for the purchase of raw milk from farmers in which a competitor to new co-op that is at least as efficient as new co-op could expect to earn a reasonable return on its efficient investment, and contestability has a corresponding meaning. So the intent of this change is to restore a level playing field in the dairy industry by removing Fonterra's ability to set an artificially high or stretched milk price. The second amendment to Section 150 is where the word while is replaced by the word by. pretty insignificant in some senses, but quite important in the bigger picture. Sir, this is intended to clarify the relationship between the two heads contained in this section. An efficient, that is an efficient Fonterra. Sir, Speaker, Mr. Chair.
Call the Honourable Te Aroha Flavel.
An efficient, thank you very much, an efficient Fonterra and contestable markets by stating that you get an efficient Fonterra via contestable markets rather than an officially high milk price. So these are the two amendments, sir, which I suspect may not necessarily get overwhelming support, but they are certainly our response to the lobbying that has been, and the information given to us by both sides of the party. As I say, we're prepared to support the bill, but would hope that this issue, contestability in particular, is a crucial issue that has been expressed to us by a number of people. We've placed it in front of the Parliament, and I suppose we leave it for Parliament to make a decision accordingly. Kia ora tātou.
Tēnā koe, I call the Honourable Phil Goff.
Mr. Chairman, the Chairman might find the price of his hay goes up if he keeps.